Okay guys, how you doing? Whew. Hi guys, so welcome in. If this is your first video, welcome back. If it is not, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I have been so excited to make this video. I have been researching and getting notes together. I have a lot of information for you guys, so I'm not going to waste a ton of time with an intro. I want to jump right to it. So if you want to find out how you can go to Disney World on the cheap, then let's go. My name's Rachel, and this is Attainable Disney.
Yay!
Okay, so a couple little disclaimers, points of interest before we get started. One, this is all of my personal experience that this is kind of based on. I am not a travel agent. I am not an expert. I am not a professional. This is just my experiences. So there may be better or worse things out there. Who knows? I didn't research every single option. I'm just telling you what works for me. This is all also based on travel pre-COVID and hopefully post-COVID. If there's a post-COVID, obviously we know COVID throws a wrench in every single travel plan. So the information I'm giving you is kind of best case scenario. And then you know, if you're traveling during the pandemic, you may have to edit from there. You know, you're gonna have to kind of make it work. But this is all based on things that we did pre-COVID, okay? This is also all based on 2 adults traveling. So this is just me and my fiance on a trip. We have no children. We don't take children with us on trips. So it's just the 2 of us. So again, if you are a family or if you have kids or if you're going with a group of friends or some such, again, it's gonna be different for you. So you can take my experience and sort of apply it to your situation in whatever way. But if your trip comes out to be a little bit more expensive, don't come yelling at me. Thanks. So obviously there are lots and lots and lots of ways on how to save money when you go to Disney World. There's like a lot of information, a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of things to know. I cannot possibly cover them all in one video. We would be sitting here for 8 hours. You would lose interest. I would lose my mind. We're not doing it. For the purposes of today's video, we're going to focus on the 3 big ones: flight, hotel, and food. Okay? So when we fly to Disney World, it's about a 2.5 hour flight from us. We live on the East Coast. It's about a 2.5 hour flight to Disney World. It's about a 14-hour drive. We've considered driving, but it's just not something that we're interested in. We regularly fly Spirit Airlines. I know what you're thinking. Spirit gets a bad rap. And let me be honest, it deserves the bad rap. Is it a comfortable flight? No. Are the people nice? No. Is it convenient? No. Maybe I take that part back. I will say Spirit for us, so from our home airport, they do have multiple direct flights to and from Orlando every single day. So a direct flight is very important to me. That's just like a personal thing. I'm not interested in getting on and off 100 planes, going up and down a million times, being in and out of a million different airports. It's just not about that life. So direct flights are important to me. And so I really do appreciate that Spirit, for me, has multiple direct flights a day. So as far as pricing, so I'm sure you guys have seen some of those ads where it's like flights are $25 or $50 or $25, $17, whatever. Now we know on the wheels and out the door, it never really works out to that. Of course it doesn't, right? Because there's taxes, there's fees, there's all kinds of other stuff. There's some information up here so you guys can see the exact details, but and these are actual numbers. So these Spirit numbers I pulled off of my actual credit card statement. So for 2 of us round trip to fly to Disney World and home from Disney World, 2 adults each of us with one suitcase, no carry-on bags, and one personal item. So Spirit counts a personal item as your purse, as a backpack, as a shopping bag. You get one personal item. A carry-on bag is something that would have to go in the bins or under your seat. They charge for those. Those are more expensive than a bag that you check, so we just go straight for suitcases. So for both of us to fly with one suitcase each and our personal item, it costs us about $308. Now certainly that's going to vary a little bit. I mean, the prices stay like generally the same. I don't feel like they vary too much, but that's generally about what we pay. I did join the Spirit rewards program. I think it's the $9 club or something it's called. It's not worth it. Don't join it. It costs money. Don't join it. Yeah. So, and you can see these other flights. Sorry, I've got to look at my notes. So Southwest is about $485. American Airlines, $494. Delta, $582. And noteworthy that none of those other flights are direct. So all of those flights have a stop. So in this case, the Spirit flight is faster, more convenient, is more direct, and cheaper. You don't get a snack, you don't get a drink. The seats are about 8 inches wide. You know, listen, it's not the Four Seasons. It's not a luxury flight. For us, it's a very quick flight. So like I said, it's about 2.5 hours. You know, whatever. Like, we can handle it. You know, I will say, Spirit also, a couple of things to keep in mind, because they do charge for the individual suitcases depending on the length of your trip. My fiance and I previously have actually taken one suitcase. We worked all of our things into one suitcase and then into our like personal items. Like, we both had a backpack that like had stuff in it. And that actually worked for us, and so that saved us about $60 because it was $30 for the suitcase out, $30 for the suitcase home. So that worked for us. We only tried that one time. It was not easy, but something to keep in mind. Okay. So you get off your Spirit flight. Now what? Where are you gonna stay? So guys, I have a controversial hot take on this. Stay off property. I know. Oh, the horror. I know, the screaming that's probably happening right now. I mean, right? I know. But listen, guys, I've done it both ways. I've stayed at the hotels, I've stayed off property. I've crunched the numbers every which way that I can. I can't make it work. There's no way that I can justify staying on property financially. There are like some other benefits that may mean something to you, like that may be worthwhile, but like financially, it just doesn't make sense. So for the purpose of this video, I pulled prices at 4 Disney hotels for a Saturday night next month, the same Saturday night, to see what one hotel room would cost for 2 adults. So All-Star Movies, about $191. Coronado Springs, $277. Jump Yacht Club jumps to $708 a night. One night. And Riviera, over $800 for one night. Anybody pay this full rack rate on the room? Probably not, right? I mean, you shouldn't. Don't. There's always deals and specials and 10% off if you live in this state, and buy 3 nights, get the 4th night free, and come on these days and save 20%, right? I mean, there's always some kind of deal. So never just pay full price, of course. But if your hotel room is $708 with a 20% discount, I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So that's it, guys. That's the video. You don't want to spend a lot of money? Don't stay at a Disney hotel. Okay. Just kidding, there's more information. We use hotels.com generally for our rooms. Really when we travel anywhere, we use hotels.com. It's just kind of streamlined to use one service. You can look at all kinds of different hotels in all kinds of different areas. You know, with one search, you can see sort of all your options. So it makes it really easy. So we like that site. They also have a rewards program. So every 10 nights that you buy, like through the website, every 10 nights that you stay, you get one free. So that is something to keep in mind. I went on hotels.com. I pulled some hotels for the exact same day that I pulled on the Disney website. And so I got a few different hotels. So these first two are ones that I have stayed at. So the Palazzo Lakeside Hotel is one I have stayed at and would stay at again. It's $42 a night. And then there's the Red Line Hotel, again, which I have stayed at and would stay at again, and will stay at $69 a night. Sorry, you can't convince me that it's worth spending 4 or 5 times or 10 times that or 20 times that to stay on Disney property. Sorry, not sorry. Here's 2 other ones that I personally have never stayed at but are very highly rated on this app, like 4,000 reviews, very highly rated. There's the Magic Key Club for $44 a night, and the Parkway International, which was $80 a night. Personally never stayed there, but they do seem to be well reviewed and loved. You know, the thing about the hotel, you know, may or may not be the tip for you depending on your travel style. My fiance and I, we go to Orlando to go to the parks. We don't necessarily go to sit at the hotel. We don't necessarily go really even to sit at the pool. We go, we kind of like to get our park time, you know, we go to the parks. And so I don't need to stay at the Four Seasons. I don't need to stay at the Riviera. I need to stay in a hotel that is clean, that is comfortable, that is safe, and that is close by what I need. That's, you know, that's what I need. And that's what I get. And I get it for $42 a night. Now, of course, hotels.com, the price will go up and down, right? The prices will vary depending on the availability, the date, you know, how far away it is, things like that. So, of course, you may go in there right now and these hotels may be a different price. It's always going to, you know, it's always going to be subject to change, but it shouldn't be wildly different. So, I know what your next thought is, but how do you get to the parks? What about that world famous free Disney transportation? Here's the secret. That transportation sucks. I hate those buses. So again, I actually went back into my actual account and looked, but we use Lyft. So when we stay at an off-property hotel, we use Lyft to get to and from the parks, or to and from Disney Springs, wherever it is that we're going. And from those 2 hotels where we have stayed at different times to assorted parks or Disney Springs, we've paid anywhere from $13 to $19. And that is including a tip, right? That's the total price taken right from my Lyft account. So even paying on the high end, we'll say $20 both ways. So we'll say $40. So we'll say I have to pay $40 to get to and from the parks one day, but I'm still staying at a $42 a night hotel. I'm still paying half the price to stay at the crappiest Disney hotel at the All-Star. Works for me. You know, something else to consider with the transportation is that a Lyft is going to drop you off at the door to the park and at the door to your hotel. So it's very convenient. Obviously, at the Magic Kingdom, you cannot take a Lyft or a car to the Magic Kingdom. You have to take it to the transportation center. There's ways around that. We'll go over that in another video at another time. But drops you right off at the door at Hollywood Studios. You walk right in. When you want to leave at night, you call it, you walk right out, there's a bench, you wait, you get in your own car, and you sit and you ride quietly and you go back to your hotel, drops you off right at the door, and you go to bed. It's beautiful. Like I said, I know this is a long video. It's a lot of information, but it's good, useful information. So thanks for sticking around. So the last thing we're going to talk about is how to save money on food. And so how to save money on food to me is very closely tied in with where you stay. And so I kind of like to talk about hotel and food together. So if you're staying off property, it gives you access to a lot more food options at a lot of varied price points, okay? So if you're staying at a Disney property, Disney dining plan is $78 a night. Again, like I said, pre-coronavirus, theoretically post-coronavirus. And that $78 a night gets you 1 quick service meal, 1 table service meal, 2 snacks. Okay, you're like, all right, it seems reasonable, right? Especially when you consider both of those meals come with a drink, which could be a soda, could be a wine or a beer, in fact, if you're over 21. And the table service meal even comes with dessert. You're like, that's a deal. And you know what? Dollar for dollar, you are not wrong. But $78 is a lot of money. So that would mean me and my fiance are spending $156 on a dining plan a day. That's a lot of money. I also want you to think about the fact that that's a lot of food. So if you were to use every credit on your dining plan, which if you didn't spend every credit on your dining plan, then buying it would be a complete waste and you should be embarrassed. But if you were to spend every credit on your dining plan one day, here's all of the things that you would eat, okay? We'll say you have a quick service meal for lunch. Say you're at the Magic Kingdom. You're gonna go to the lunching pad. You're gonna get a pulled pork sandwich with fries and a soda for lunch, okay? That's fair. A little while later, you're gonna use one of your snacks. You're gonna head over to Casey's and you're gonna get some loaded bacon, mac and cheese fries, okay? Then a little while later, it's time for dinner. So you head over to Tony's Town Square. I don't know why, because you hate yourself. You order up the chicken fettuccine Alfredo, the Italian strawberry shortcake, big glass of red wine. After the meal's over, you're back out in the park for a little bit, and before you head out for the night, you treat yourself to perhaps a Dole Whip, or perhaps a Plaza Sundae. Do you realize how much food that is? Who eats that much food? I'm sorry, it's not possible. Who eats that much food? You can't eat that much food and expect to go on a ride. Are you serious? No. Nope, not gonna happen. Do you imagine eating that much food on your trip in August? It's hot, humid. No. Now, Disney food is very expensive. Portions are also quite generous. So even with all that, you're gonna have a lot of leftovers. Are you gonna carry those around the park all day? I would certainly hope not anyway. So I know what you're saying. We'll just share. You can't. If you're using the Disney dining plan, everyone in your room has to have their own dining plan. So, listen, I like food. I like Disney food. It's one of the things I look forward to about a Disney World trip is all of the good treats. But I could never eat that much food. Here's what I actually ate on my most recent day at the Magic Kingdom. I had mac and cheese tots for lunch from Friar's Nook. That was $10.99. I bought a bottle of water for $3.50. Later in the day, I also had a Dole Whip that was $4.99. And before we headed out, I had a Mickey pretzel and cheese, which was $6.99. So you can do the math there. Like I said, portions are generous. My fiance, very specifically, would order something different from me at those times, and we would split and share it. And we always had enough. At the end of the night, you go back to your room. Sometimes we could order pizza, right? You could get for the two of us, we could get a pizza and wings delivered to the room for $25. Sometimes one of the hotels we stay at, there's like an IHOP across the street. We've walked over to IHOP and had dinner. There's a Denny's or like an Olive Garden, right? I mean, there's a lot of places with like reasonable costs right around you. So, there's definitely ways to eat all of the Disney treats for reasonable amounts of money, in my opinion. Also, because you're staying at an off-site or an off-property hotel, you are out in the world. And so there's probably a 7-Eleven across the street from your hotel. There's probably a grocery store. There's probably a Walmart, a gas station, right? So when we first get there, after we check in, we get settled, we walk to 7-Eleven and we'll buy a few bottles of water for $1.50 or a few granola bars or Cliff Bars or whatever, right? A few snacks, chips, things like that to have in the room at reasonable costs. Also, because we're staying at off-property hotels, they have Continental Breakfast. Lakeside Hotel that we stay at has beautiful Mickey waffles in the morning. Beautiful little Mickey waffles in the morning. Can't go wrong. If you're staying at a Disney hotel, you are more or less sort of forced to sort of only consume Disney foods for the day, which we know are overpriced. But if you're staying at an off-property hotel, it gives you a lot more access to a lot more reasonably priced, normal food. And so I think that's a really good way to save some money. I think that's it for today. I think this video has been long enough. Let's review quickly. Flight, Spirit, always. Any way you cut it, it's going to be cheaper. It's not going to be fancy. It's going to get you there. Hotel, stay off property. Done. Settled. The off-property hotels in Disney World are beautiful. They're wonderful. Because Orlando and Kissimmee and the whole area is such a family travel destination, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of hotels. You'll see. There's a lot of competition. And so that means quality has to be up, customer service has to be up, and prices have to be down. So that works out for the consumer. Disney doesn't have to compete with anybody because it's Disney. So that means that their prices go up. Stay off property. Take advantage of your hotel's Continental Breakfast. Take advantage of your access to the outside world and its reasonably priced food choices. So, like I said, there is so much more to know about how to save money on a trip. I just think that these are three of the biggest things that I think people think about. And so as maybe we're daydreaming about what our next trip is going to be like and thinking about what we're going to do when we can finally travel again after COVID, I want you guys to keep these things in mind. Share this video with your significant other, with your friends, with your family who are telling you that Disney trips are too expensive and they're out of the question. Share this video with them. Tell them that they are crazy. Well, don't tell them they're crazy. Share this video with them. If you guys have any questions, if there's anything that I can clarify, if there's anything I can direct you towards, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. I'm happy to answer questions where I can, direct you where I can. Please just leave questions below. I will do my best to answer them. You can also come follow me on Instagram. I'll leave that here on the screen. If you have any questions, you can also ask me over there. There will be more videos to come. So if you have other questions about saving money that aren't necessarily like related to what we talked about in this video, you know, feel free to ask those too, because that can then kind of inform the future videos that I do. So these are just kind of the first, I think, basic steps to keep in mind. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please like this video. Please share it with someone you think may benefit from the information. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.